For centuries, the Arctic was a world of ice and silence, a vast, frozen desert at the top of our planet, a place that seemed completely removed from the conflicts of humankind. But that world, well, it's vanishing. And as the ice melts, a new stage is being set for a global power struggle, one fueled by opportunity and ambition.
You know, the craziest part of all this is that the catalyst for this huge change is a global crisis, climate change. The Arctic is warming up at a frankly alarming rate. And as that ice recedes, it's not just revealing water, it's revealing opportunity. And with it, a whole lot of ambition. What was once an inaccessible frontier is suddenly open for business.
People are calling it the Great Melt, and what's being unlocked is just staggering. We're talking about new, shorter shipping lanes that could change global trade, and beneath the seabed, immense, untapped reserves of oil, gas, and all the critical minerals that power our modern world. It's nothing short of a modern-day gold rush, and you can bet the world's great powers have taken notice.
So this race has really got three main players, and each of them has a very different idea for what the future of the High North should look like. And it's their competing ambitions that are turning this once peaceful region into a real geopolitical hotspot.
First up, we have Russia. I mean, with the world's longest Arctic coastline, Moscow doesn't just see the Arctic as some distant frontier. To them, it's their strategic backyard. For Russia, the future of its economy and its national security is completely tied to this melting ice.
And their strategy? It's crystal clear. They are pouring money into new and even reopened Cold War-era military bases. They're building this absolutely unmatched fleet of icebreakers to dominate the waterways. And they're developing infrastructure all along the Northern Sea Route, which is a shipping lane they claim as their own sovereign territory. And why is that so important? Because if you control that route, you control the shortest path between Europe and Asia.
And really, when you look at the numbers, you get a sense of just how serious Russia is about this. It's not even a competition. Russia has over 40 icebreakers. The US and China combined? Just a handful. This isn't just a lead, folks. This is overwhelming dominance. It gives them a chokehold on who gets to move around in the Arctic.
Now, our second player is a real outsider, a nation thousands of miles away from the Arctic Circle, China. In a pretty bold diplomatic move, Beijing has just declared itself a near-Arctic state. It's their way of justifying a growing presence and ambition in a region they're not even geographically a part of. And make no mistake, China is playing the long game here, with a strategy they're calling the Polar Silk Road. On the diplomatic front, they're asserting their influence. Economically, they're investing heavily in everything, from scientific research to resource extraction. And on the ground, or on the water, they're operating their own icebreakers. They're making sure they have a seat at the table so they can challenge the traditional powers. So, as you can imagine, all this activity hasn't gone unnoticed. It has, unsurprisingly, triggered a response from the West. The United States and its NATO allies are now seriously re-engaging in the Arctic, and they're viewing it as a critical new front for their security.
And with Finland and Sweden recently joining the alliance, NATO's footprint in the Arctic has expanded dramatically. We're seeing more frequent, larger military exercises all across the region. The US, for its part, is really focused on monitoring Russia and, crucially, making sure there's freedom of navigation through those waterways Russia's trying to claim. But with so much military hardware from all sides moving around in one place, the big concern is that just one mistake, one miscalculation, could lead to an accidental escalation.
You know, for decades, despite the harsh environment, the Arctic was this remarkable model of international cooperation, a fragile peace. But that era, well, it appears to be over. The tensions of the wider world have finally reached the North Pole.
At the heart of all that cooperation was something called the Arctic Council. It brought together all 8 Arctic nations, including rivals like Russia and the US, to work together on things like scientific research and environmental protection. For the longest time, it was proof that even adversaries could find common ground in this unique part of the world.
But that spirit of cooperation has been shattered. After decades of working together, Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine completely fractured the Council. Cooperation has been suspended. The main body for governing the Arctic is now effectively in limbo, and that leaves a very dangerous vacuum.
But this whole story isn't just about military bases and shipping lanes. This great game between global powers has profound, real-world consequences for the people who've called the Arctic home for millennia, and for the incredibly fragile ecosystem itself.
It's a question we absolutely have to ask. Because while presidents and generals are drawing new lines on maps, it's the people and the natural world on the ground that bear the true cost of this new gold rush.
This competition is really a threat on two fronts. On one hand, you have the indigenous communities of the Arctic. For them, all this increased industrial and military activity threatens their traditional way of life, their culture. On the other hand, you have the environment. The risk of a catastrophic oil spill or just irreversible habitat destruction grows every single day. The iconic wildlife, the people, they're all caught in the crossfire.
So, where does all this lead? You've got massive economic interests, growing military power, and extreme environmental fragility all converging in one of the most remote places on Earth. I mean, that is a recipe for a very volatile and unpredictable future.
And the path to escalation is dangerously clear. First, you have these huge economic interests colliding with more and more military power. Second, there are no clear internationally agreed upon rules for who owns what up there. Third, the military presence from all sides is just increasing. And the result of all that, the risk of a miscalculation, a single mistake that could spark a conflict, it grows every single day.
This quote really captures the transformation that we're all witnessing. A region that was once defined by its ice is now being defined by the potential for conflict.
And that leaves us with this final, chilling question. For so long, the Arctic stood as a testament to our ability to cooperate even with our rivals. The great challenge now is whether it will remain a symbol of peace or if we are watching the opening moves in the world's next great war.
At Geotectonics, our mission is to uncover these profound tectonic shifts, offering clarity in a world of complexity. If this analysis deepened your understanding, please like this video to support our work, share it with others who seek real insight, and subscribe to Geotectonics to ensure you never miss our next deep dive. We'll continue to explore the crucial geopolitical movements that define our time. Thank you for joining us.